looking like another Viking GG favorite draft.
I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say that this is completely an outdraft from Viking GG. I definitely see some upsides to it. Again, you have this strengths on both of these drafts. I would value Liquid this time around a little bit more. However, a few mistakes again, and it can all go down the drain.
Fair enough. We'll see what Viking GG are capable of and if they can pull out an upset in this first series of the day as we pass it on to our casters, Odie, Pixel, and Fogged.
Thank you very much. Yes, game 2 ready to go. With these drafts, Fog, would you sort of agree that this time round Liquid's got a better way of maybe matching the tempo that we saw in game 1 Viking bring with sort of a ferocious pace?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they just actually have easier to use spells and just be able to make moves around.
"30 seconds to battle.
Look out for falling rocks!
Liberty of, just your toolkit to just do damage, right? Before it was Tiny Toss, Stun, Mirana, Combo, Spirit Break, all this damage coming into play. This one, a lot of it is going to be relying on Firefly, relying on Batrider, who is into 2 heroes that are kind of good for Bat in the olden days, right? Venge and Puck used to be looked at pretty good heroes versus Bat. They can move around and respond to him. But I've also just seen Bats run away with games and take over super hard. So that's probably the biggest thing I'm looking at to take care of everything for Viking is how good of a game does Boom have? Because he was explosive last game.
And do you like the answer to Boom?
The ward.
Check for the vision?
Yeah, he walked into the little side of the vision for the tower to be able to check if there's ward vision there. Let me get the deny, one more hit. They're both playing around it.
There we go, hit it together nicely. Nice bit of teamwork for Liquid, will secure them that ward. And then so in this mid lane, Quakefur getting that last pick Storm as a response to the Bat. Pretty solid?
Pretty solid. Not a whole lot of disabled he has to worry about. It's just Lasso, Doom, and Spirit Breaker's abilities, which you can play around. You can zip into Spirit Breaker. You can pull him beforehand. They have Gust. They have lots of different abilities this time to mess with Aramis. We're seeing them already starting to pull the wave. Panel mentioned. Drow Venge, one of the strongest duos straight up in lane versus melees. Like Spirit Breaker and Doom. These 2 heroes just don't do much of anything until later on versus that Venge and Drow. Yeah, nice lane setups for Liquid.
So you imagine, this top lane Drow pretty much going to have free farm.
He just missed the range creep under tower, but should be free farm.
Okay.
He just missed the second creep, actually, in fact, too. So he should have free farm, but he just missed 2 under tower. And I think he just missed the 3rd under tower, too. Oh, no, he got it. Okay. Almost missed 3 CS, but we'll be able to fix that up. And Aramis will do the full deny behind. I mean, he played that perfectly. I think this is exactly the move the Spirit Breaker needed to do because a hero like Vengeful Spirit, you actually cannot pressure when Spirit Breaker does this. Other amazing zoning heroes like Bane, Undying, something like this, you can contest between that wave. But Venge, it's too scary. You're too slow and just not very strong at all.
Yeah, well, what about this mid? 12 for 5 against the 5 for 1.
Yep.
Quakefur just playing the first few waves perfectly with the burst of the remnants and just pushing them out and securing pretty much every single CS.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a funny lane. It works in favor of Storm because you're always pushing the lane into Bat's side, but Bat can pose kill threat always if you make a mistake on that Storm.
Sure. It feels hard though, as the Bat. I do feel like Storm...
It is hard.
Especially if... I don't know if he's playing with Stick or if he will be, but even without that, you're always going to have the difficulty of actually getting aggressive on the Storm because a Remnant and a pull and another Remnant, suddenly you're taking much more damage than you've been able to dish out to the Storm.
Yeah, and your Firefly has such a long cooldown. You can never... you're never going to be in a point, or you shouldn't be in a point usually where it's like a double creep wave and you're diving a Storm. The Storm is usually going to have his wave pushing onto your side. So you can see he didn't even scale Firefly in this matchup. He understands he's not going to get on top of that Storm in most situations. So.
Yeah, I guess, just able to at least harass a bit more efficiently than, capitalize on when he does get the high stacks with a good old flame break to at least do some damage to try and push Quakefur away. But yeah, even with that, Quakefur having a very, very strong showing here.
Let's see if a rotation changes things, right? Now he's level 4 on Bat, so he has Firefly, he has Flame Break. They have a Spirit Breaker on their team, so see if Aramis can look to help the mid lane. First, though, he's going to save Toby, what it looks like top.
May just die for his efforts, though. So if there's any way that Aramis could get out of it. He's trying to hide in the trees. Mickey and Insania will be able to find him, though.
Such a strong lane.
Yeah, always going to be difficult. I mean, that's sort of how it's going to go, right? If the Doom's about to die, you know, Toby's not going to get out alive. You're going to have Aramis go in to give his life to keep Toby safe.
Yep. I think Aramis did not want to do that. Honestly, I'm like 90% sure Aramis wanted to sit around the mid area and charge for the 4-minute bounty rune or 4-minute power rune to be able to set up onto Koifa with Boom. But having to try to help top, now it's messed with his rotation a little bit. They will luck out and get the rune up top.
That's it. Tiger can keep up these body blocks, keep him in range of Koifa. He's doing a good job, Tiger, and it's... Is it good enough? One more proc of the overload? Not enough.
Toss!
Oh, that'll do it.
That'll do it.
Tiger, some lovely little body blocking there around mid, making sure damage can be done and the kill can be picked up.
I like the Tiger match. You match the aggression, right? You see the Spirit Breaker rotating, you must do the same thing. Great little heads up there play by Liquid, ensuring that the Storm Spirit will continue to have a great time in mid lane. Koifa gonna be up to level 6 pretty soon. Might just stick around for the bounty rune.
And we'll see. I mean, this game, Koifa, can he go aggressive with Item build? Does he have to get a Yules for himself first? And can he sort of go for an Orchid build on Storm?
It's not any like glaring heroes that he needs an Orchid verse.
Okay.
Usually it's like your versus an Ember Spirit, your versus a Void Spirit, your versus a Void, something like that actually requires it. I think he can. I don't know. I think he has his options. He might just go for some more of greedy type of build. He might still go for the Orchid even too, but it's not like it's super necessary this game. This could definitely work.
I see Aramis. He's going to be able to come around, get this ward down. Tiger still hanging around, and they did see him come over there with the ward themselves.
He's trying to get some type of like back charges onto Koifa before he's 6. He really wants to kill this Storm at least once, but look at the way Liquid knows this is happening.
They keep it Koifa very safe.
Yeah.
They've got the bodyguards up and down the river.
Yep, and they know that they're like, oh, Toby's top alone. So that means that they're trying to make this play. Storm hits 6, immediately they're going to make the move first.
Yep, straight in onto Boom with the zip. The magic missile from the back here. Insania locks down the bat. Boom up to the high ground, but the last hit from Koifa will do it. He's got enough mana as well to tear himself away from Aramis and Soleri.
Preparation at its finest right there. Rune's coming out in 2 seconds. Aramis will not be able to get it. He will be able to charge away here for a second. The zip, though, will bring him down, and Koifa also going to get the rune.
And I am Koifa off to a hot start this game. 2-0-1. Some lovely kills here as Liquid just enabling Koifa's game in the mid lane.
Beautiful. That's what you want to see. They're like, oh, Boxy's a puck bottom. He's not dying versus Spectre IO. It's just not going to happen. So they know they can do this Liberty. Same thing for top. It's a Drow versus a Doom. They know Mikka's got the freedom. They know that Spirit Breaker's going to play around mid. Yeah, real heads-up plays there by Liquid. And maybe thinking about getting aggressive on Shad there, but too much damage reduction.
Yeah, hard to do so with Tiger around. Can't really go and turn back on a Boxy when Liquid poke onto Shad.
Nah. I think they're very happy with this, though. 7 minutes, your Drow hasn't gotten pressured. Your Storm hasn't gotten fully... Well, you've reacted really well to your Storm getting pressured. Yeah, looking like a real hot start here for Team Liquid.
I mean, is this another similar draft like Game 1 where Viking could just end up falling behind a little bit in the lanes, then come that sort of 10-minute plus, they start making moves as 5 and getting this snowball going like they did in the first game?
They definitely do have the potential for it, right? With Spectre Haunt, with Spirit Breaker Charge, they still do have mobility, but I think Liquid has much better responses this time. Like the Venge, the Tiny, they can move around a lot easier. Same thing with the Puck. They can always respond to those ganks and counter gank a lot easier in comparison this game. Full 6, Boxy, saving the coil.
Oh, they're going to try it now. Coil dropped down. Responses are there. Koifa coming in with a big zip onto Shad.
A lot of heals.
It's not enough damage here from Liquid to kill Shad off, as he will be more than fine there. The back up. The lasso's there to trip Boxy up after he's used the orb. As Boxy, he's only got that little jump left, and it's not enough of a jump to take him away from Shad. Koifa turns back on towards the Spectre, continuing to try and burst him low, but it's so hard. With Celery healing up Shad. Can they quite finish him? Shad trying to go away from this Storm, but Koifa with his arcane rune just has an infinite reserve of mana to keep the pressure on, get the kill. At the same time, top lane Viking will be able to dive in and find Mickey. So at least able to find a carry in return, but that is Vikings mid and carry going down
Dire's
on that
top
bottom
tower
lane with
is under
Koifer able to
attack.
clean up with the Arcane Rune.
Yeah, Arcane Rune coming in clutch. He definitely would not have had the mana for those extra little static remnants plus overload hits onto them there. Yeah, the damage is overwhelming.
Dire's structures
No,
are
Viking does have a
fortified.
great amount of sustain down there.
Radiant's
It's enough.
bottom
And he is going to go
tower
for
is
Orchid
under
anyway.
attack.
Just the item is just too good now.
Dire's top
3,400,
tower is
3,500
under
gold.
attack.
Regeneration.
Way too strong. But good response from Viking at least, right? They capitalize on the moment. Toby as well as Aramis, they get very aggressive. They get that drow. And Toby's still, I mean, he's all the way up there in that net worth. The beauty about Doom. 1 or 2 kills plus your Devour and you're back in the game.
Radiant's bottom tower
Even after
is
a
under
rough lane.
attack. Dire's top tower
He's
is
got a
under
strong
attack.
farm on him. Tiger, Boxy on the hunt, heading over toward this top lane. Boxy with the coil ready to go once again.
Bottom. Toby. He's under the tower as well, too. This is a scary position to be in for this Doom.
Let's see if he can run his way out of this, Tiger. Trying for the setup. Gets the avalanche. Not going to be able to find the toss, though. On the creep instead, as Toby's able to break into the trees and get himself away, and he is out of there. Boxy unable to find him.
Nobody else could really TP, it seemed like. I thought maybe they were asking for Mika's TP, but I believe he had already TP'd down to bottom. So no Drow TP,
Dire's
no
middle
Storm
tower
mana.
is under attack.
Not enough with the 2 of them there.
That's 10-minute runes. Coming up now, Aramis. Going a little too close to the 3 of them. Quaker finding the right places to be each and every time in this early game. 5-0 and 1 now on the Storm.
I feel like for Aramis this game, it's gonna be a lot harder for him to look like this tanky Spirit Breaker beast. Versus Venge and Drow, you really start to look like paper a lot of those times as these 4-position melee heroes. Already up to a 2k lead, Liquid. Making all the right moves and really shutting down
Radiant's
Boom. Look at the
bottom
0-2-1
tower is
on the
under
bat. As
attack.
we said, last pick bat, but they responded super well versus it on Liquid, both from their mid pick as well as their rotations early game so far. Making all the right moves.
Radiant structures
Free
are
farm for
fortified.
Toby does continue.
Radiant's
We're
bottom
going to see
tower
what the
is under
drum's
attack.
done. So now
big.
some really good chase potential. These
Dire's
fights,
top
Quaker's got
tower
to be a
is
little
under attack.
careful if he overextends. With the mana, Toby has the chance of running him down, getting the Doom on him.
Yeah, they still have good farm, like Toby as well as their
Radiant's
Spectre.
bottom tower
Still
has
chilling.
fallen.
Still having a pretty solid game. And naturally,
Dire's
you know, that
top
Spectre is
tower
always
has
going to be good
fallen.
versus Drow in the mid game. Looks like he also, I believe, has his drum finished. So I think it's fighting time, right? I think Viking is the kind of style they like to play. I think it's time to just look for the battles. But I think it's going to be
Dire's
battles
middle
about
tower
numbers.
is under
Just like they
attack.
did last game, it's all about that mobility. Split the map up, catch Liquid when they're split up. With that relocate, with that charge.
Yeah,
Koifa is almost at Orchid, though.
Yeah, his farm is just, I mean, you should look at the comparison between him and Boom. You know, Boom really falling behind at this bat. This is going to be a pretty slow boost to travel timing from in this game.
Yeah.
Radiant's middle tower
Also
is
getting the
under
Arcane
attack.
Ring, of course, on Storm. Probably the best item you could get. Let's say the charge, the hunt, is where they're going for the numbers play.
Yeah, McKay and Insania were pushing
Oh,
him
they're very
pretty
far.
aggressive here.
What the?
Right up by the tier 2, the 2 of them. As Insania, he's not out either. I mean, what were they doing there?
That's a great question there, Owen. I'm not too sure.
I mean,
they tried to go for... Okay, so they put a deep ward down, but
Okay.
not sure why they stuck around. You
Radiant's
know the
middle
way
tower
Viking
is
plays,
under
especially,
attack.
too, right?
Yeah, they're gonna be on
look
you
for
as
those
five.
fights. Yeah, that's definitely a bit of an overzealous move there from Liquid. Looking to pressure the tower here. It gives Boxy a little bit of space, but yeah, that gets punished real quick.
Yeah, they've got to be careful pushing out just as the 2 of them. They're just easily going to be outnumbered.
Yeah.
Every time they're done, like McKay and it's sure, maybe if one of them was there, it's
Sure.
like one of those, you know, getting solo farm, solo XP, the chance you're going to die. But when there's 2 down there and they're still helpless, it's like, well, what was the plan?
And look at, I mean, just look at the global. Look at their lineup. That's without the relocate. That's without the lasso. That's literally just them using haunt and running at you with charge. So Viking, they still have everything at their disposal in order to expand if they would like to. Liquid still, of course, they're in a fine spot. That was just a little bit of painful, you know, unnecessary maybe deaths there from them.
Toby just
He's
500
getting
off
big.
the blink.
He's a big boy, and he's got the
Dire's
ice
middle
armor
tower
creep,
is under
probably the
attack.
best creep you can find versus the Drow Ranger, as Drow's ultimate only hits through main armor, as we taught on with that was last week.
Invisibility.
Yeah,
That
Toby,
plus armor.
a real force in
Yeah.
terms of being able to get on top of the drow as well in these fights, McKay. It's going to have to heavily rely on Insania to be around with the swap saves.
Koikfa is very strong, but he's fragile. 1,000 HP. No treads, just straight for that Orchid. If he finds anybody by himself, though, it's very likely they'll get the kill. Ooh, Koikfa.
An IO passing by.
They have a sentry down. They see him. They get the charge on him, too, so they're aware of this. And now rotations are coming. Koikfa might just have to bail.
He's going to have to.
Let the fun begin.
Oh,
Zip away.
all the way back to the tower. Full mana pool used. But top now.
Yeah,
Opportunity from Toby.
He's just going for it. He's got the Doom down onto the Tiny Insania with the swap to the side. Gets him in range at the stun. They'll turn things on to Toby. Celery comes in, trying off the save, but the coil's down on the two of them into the multi-shot from Mickey. As Liquid will be able to clean those two up. Back over in the river though, Koikfa, he hung around. And they got him. The lasso onto the storm. Koikfa, it looked like he was playing his chances there for the 14-minute power rune. It didn't spawn bottom. And already we saw he used all of his mana to get back towards the tower. So he was playing out, walking alone in the river with no way to get out.
Look at those tips. You see how much gold he just got for that kill there? 500 for Boom because there's a mega kill streak from Koikfa. Juicy. But we did see what we were talking about earlier is that response that Liquid does have this time. Your versus Doom, your versus Bat, they have Venge Swap. They have a lot of different ways to bail each other out. And Bo3, cool item choices this game from him. Going for that Vessel. Not something you see the most often, but versus IO.
Yeah, someone's got to get
Doom,
it.
Someone's got to get it. Looked real good up top there as he got that coil plus Vessel charge immediately. Now they've got the blink on Taiga. He just finished this one up. So they're trying to press forward here, look for those bounties, and they'll find a freebie.
Radiant's middle
Aramis just caught, stepping up into the blindness of the high ground.
And now they get some space to hit the tower. With this Drow, tower gets brought down very quickly. Viking, they don't have Doom available. They have Haunt, but yeah, a bit too scared to go in here versus all 5 of Team Liquid. This is not the fights they want. They want the split fights. They don't want the head-on 5v5. They want to be going for like the numbers, take people picked off.
Are scanning. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Liquid getting active.
Here we have it. Big zip in, Toby. Dodging with the blink now, maybe with the counterplay. Viking GG coming charging across. Aramis is in, onto Koikfa. Shaq comes in with a horn, into the lasso. They've caught Koikfa.
They made it look easy.
They're going to turn over for more now. Toby trying to charge in towards Mickey and Insania. They're on the retreat, Liquid.
The drums, they're popped.
This is the 5-man plays of Viking that we saw come out on top each and every time in game 1. They're just running them down, but there is a nice 3-man dream coil from Bo3. There'll be a buyback for Celery trying to come over. Mickey's going for the TPI. Is there a bash? There isn't. Mickey's out and away. He'll make it out of this one still. The chase continues.
Oh, he's going to TP to base.
Oh, he TP'd to the tower. He's
going to go down now for that.
Oh,
no.
no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. I thought he was going home. He didn't.
They might get a kill, though.
Let's see. They got Shad. Insania also falling. Can they find Boom as well? Zip over onto the bat. They've got the catch with the silence.
All right.
All right, works out. It was
a bait.
It was the plan from Mickey. Yeah, he said, let me stay on the map. We're going to bait them past this tower, and you guys are going to clean up. And that was the case. They get Boom and they get Shad because of that bait.
Yeah, Mickey's like, TP to tower. Koikfa's respawning. Koikfa's got the cleanup. Thank you, Koikfa. And Koikfa will be able to. But we see the relentless aggression. This is the Viking style.
Yeah,
Pop their drums, run up the hill. Even though you get coiled, run through the coil, get on top of the Drow.
Yeah, and we do see, though, as you mentioned, Liquid being able to fight back much better than they were able to deal with it in game 1.
Oh, the Doom. It's a blink. Toby, the surprise. That should be able to find them a kill here.
Oh, definitely. Koikfa's gone.
See ya. And they want another?
I mean, the dream closed down to the 3 of them. Aramis is still able to get over towards Taiga. They'll lose Celery. See on the side, Insania trying to go for the swap up, but the coil's already come to an end. Jump forward, nice Taiga. Gets the avalanche onto the 3 of them. Sets up for Mickey to finish off the kill. Aramis charges in to put Mickey's damage to a stop, but Mickey still able to get that final hit over with the help of Bo3. They pick up Toby. There's double kill there for the puck. Liquid again able to fight back into this aggression that Viking GG are trying to bring, and they're going to turn straight towards the pit. And with the Drow and the Venge, they'll have no trouble cleaning this up before Viking's back on the map.
Yeah, I wonder why Insania didn't actually use the swap there on Spirit Breaker. I thought he would just get another kill when he was TPing out. He saved the charge. Maybe wanted to save it defensively. Either way, they won the fight because of the positioning. Great spot there for Mickey to be standing. Bo3 as well as Taiga did a great job zoning those heroes away.
Yeah, and it's the last few fights have sort of kicked off on the death for Quaitha, but it's worked out fine for Liquid. You know, Quaitha keeps getting jumped. It doesn't matter. The rest of Liquid, the four of them, can fight back against Viking.
Oh, Quaitha, though. You were mentioning him, and look, the vacuum lasso.
All right, drags him back. Quaitha, last bit of mana, it's gone.
I'm staging a comeback.
That's the Aegis. Do they have another way to set up?
There's nobody coming to help him, but as you say, he's going to have the full mana.
Charge through the creep. He tried to get him, but yeah, it's not enough.
Yeah, that's all they have, just that bash from the charge.
It's a clever little charge there play, but... All right, just like that, they punch back and get rid of that Aegis real quick. A little bit of a... I love seeing that in a vacuum lasso, right? Just pulls him back out of his zip no matter what.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the reasons for it, right? Because nowadays you're not invulnerable during the zip. So he casted it before he started to zip. He zips past him, and then it pulls him out of the ball lightning, right?
Something like, I mean,
so that's why it looks a little awkward, because he's getting pulled out of the ult.
I mean, sometimes we've seen that one happen so much. Like Mirana leaps away, and then you get lassoed after the leap. You know, it's just an interaction. It's a feature, right? It's a feature. Insania, he's going to start getting pretty farmed. You see he's gotten that Philosopher's Stone. Medallion finished up. Perfect item build for him. Good item build for his team, right? Of course, the Medallion benefits a lot. Not the best item versus, I guess, Vikings. But it's still your Revenge. What else do you buy? It's just such a good item.
Middle tower is under attack.
There's just a lot of magic damage on the side of Viking early on. That doesn't really provide so much against it. But such a good item. Aramis, he'll stay bottom, try to protect his Spectre, pass off that Dragon Scale. He also has a Medallion himself to counteract that heavy physical damage that Liquid has.
Been killed.
And who got the courier? Taiga did? I think that was the Manta, right?
I think that was his ultimate orb, yeah.
I think that
it was at the shop. Did he buy up?
I think he might have charged. They're making the plays. They've got the global.
All right, and they go with the horn straight up towards that top outpost. They'll take out Quaitha. They'll also find Taiga. Taiga tries for a TP out, but he ain't getting out in time.
Big jump by Toby.
I mean, it feels kind of weird because we've now seen Quaitha die like 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem to be mattering too much for Liquid. I mean, is that going to change? Can they really just keep playing like this with Quaitha sort of just dying to Viking whilst the rest of the team farms, or is this going to start to hit Liquid in the face soon?
I think it's going to start hitting him in the face soon. It's a Drow versus Spectre lineup. Like, naturally, the Drow is going to start... It's going to start becoming a lot more difficult for Mickey as the game progresses. They need a secondary carry.
Yeah, so like Quaitha making space by dying over and over again, it's just not going to be good enough.
No, definitely not. Especially not in the position that he's dying, right? Like, he just died on his side of the map. They had to expend quite a lot for him, though. They did have to use pretty much everything, so it's how Liquid capitalize off of it next. But they lost their Aegis. He's died a couple times. Let's see what Mickey does with this space, though, as Quaitha's game has halted quite significantly. He's pretty much tied in net worth with the Bat Rider, a couple chain deaths. Now, like we said, though, ultimates were used. Let's see how Liquid responds. They have to try to make some type of aggressive move. 4K lead. They're walking into the high ground.
Oh, they're going to catch on to Aramis. And we'll be the man to tank the gank. Everyone else is out.
You had your warning.
This move's going to get a little harder to do now that Celery does have his mech complete, so extra bit of burst save potential.
No mech on the side of Liquid either, so they're always going to have to factor that into their team fights. And wow, that's actually almost a BKB on Doom. That makes his game a lot easier. There's still, like we said, a lot of straight physical damage that comes out from Liquid, but if he ice armors himself and then BKBs, he has good ways to just get into Mickey onto the backline.
Yeah, he's pretty much always going to be able to get his Doom off. Yeah. You know, in these fights, unlikely that they sort of tear him apart before he steps up.
Yeah.
And drops it down.
See that, you know, they have that ward top too, so they're scouting where the Drow's positioned.
Silence.
And you really sort of start to see the hit that Quaitha's game's taken with those deaths on his item timing, because it was a very quick orchid, but it's been quite a few minutes since he had that finished up, and he's only just picked up the Kyre on top of it.
Wow,
so.
okay, yeah, he's very slowed down.
Yeah.
Does he still have the Arcane Ring on Quaitha? I actually was trying to...
He must be holding on to it, right?
No, okay, got the Essence.
Oh,
sorry, that's right.
He
did have Essence, yeah. I was wondering if they were going to give him the Vambrace, because it's actually a lot of damage that you get amped up from the spell damage alone, just from the double null thing that you get from it. But they gave it to Bo3 for now, so it's like this is survivability because he's struggling. So.
Yeah, exactly. He's still 1200 HP, so that Essence Ring boost to the HP is going to make all the difference. Top, Aramis is going to be safe. The Haunt comes out. Toby's in with the BKB. Quaifa has a DD rune. Can he fight with it? So he seems a little scared. He's trying to get away.
Good swap, disengage.
Hides inside of the pit. They're going to turn back over towards the high ground. Look towards Bo3. Bo3 goes over with the orb. We'll be able to pick the kill up on the Io. Aramis getting burst low. Quaifa coming in to try and go for the finisher, and he's able to find it. Takes out Aramis. This time, Liquid, they'll find themselves the two supports. Insania with the swap back onto Boom will get him back in reach of Mickey as they find themselves 3. Over towards Toby they look. Toby will have the movement speed to make it away. Liquid, they are able to turn and hit back hard there in that fight. I mean, Toby commits in as the Doom. Wasn't able to find an opportunity to use his ultimate, though. Didn't find a target.
I think the Shadow Blade caught them off guard. I saw the Haunt come out, the Doom blink on top of Mickey, and then he just Shadow Blade and got swapped away, and they reset the fight so beautifully on the side of Liquid. Yeah, I don't think Viking was prepared for that one, because they used their Haunt, they used their lasso, they tried to jump in the back, but just couldn't get the right targets. Now Dust definitely will be bought in preparation to deal with that. But a big win for Liquid. They can back up, get themselves some much needed breathing room. In particular for Quaifa. Shad's still farming, like he's still a beast. And it's always going to be a concern. You have a Drow Ranger lineup versus a Spectre. And this Spectre is not dying. Although you are keeping a good lead, it's always something to keep in the back of your minds. Taiga. He wants the ward.
He's going to get it. So yeah, still this 7k lead for Liquid. The draft has definitely worked out in the sense that they are able to play the Dota that Vikings been bringing to them.
Yeah,
but this Spectre does still remain pretty spooky, and he's only going to get spookier as the minutes pass.
They'll always have the damage for him, though, right? Like, especially because of the itemization. If he ever does choose to go for, let's say, Silver Edge, even though it's kind of a weird item to get on Drow.
I think he probably
still will eventually.
Yeah, it's fill out the slot. It's still some
fine.
stats.
It's still fine. Yeah, exactly.
And the break is always going to be essential, especially in the late game.
And they just have so much damage anyway. Insania looks like he'll be the one they walk into. They're trying to save the lasso here, but Boom now is in trouble.
He's going to put the BKB. Does go for the lasso now onto Insania. The Horn comes out as well. Toby charges in Mickey. He's going to get Doom. They've got themselves the target. They've found the Drow. Isolated Mickey as there's no save for him with Insania already out of the fight. Charge across as well from Aramis. He's trying to go for a further target, looking for Quaifa. Quaifa still with some mana ready to play with as he gets himself up to the high ground. Quaifa will live. Viking finally able to get back and on the level of finding these moves where they get Mickey out of it. And with Mickey gone, that is a huge amount of the damage that Liquid have been able to get off in these team fights, so it makes it certainly very hard for Liquid to fight back once the Drow's out.
Yeah, Liquid can't. As soon as the Liquid gets seen with the smoke, right? That feels like when the fight's almost impossible because Haunt gets popped and they have so many ways to collapse on top of Mickey. It feels like Liquid has to be the ones that are doing the initiation in order to protect that Drow Ranger. There's so many different forms of vision and aspect. Yeah, Doom and Spectre's missing. You see the way that Boxy's saying it. It's just like these two heroes, they're gonna beeline on top of Mickey every fight, especially because, like we mentioned, Quaifa's game got slowed down. They can kind of start to think about Quaifa later on. He doesn't really deal out that much damage, so just focus Drow, then look for him.
And Taiga finds himself a catch onto Aramis. Tossed back into the magic missile. Celery's going to be in with the save, though. The coil comes out a little too late. Celery gets him out. Celery, of course,
they're coming to fight this.
I mean, they're going to try to. They want to keep Celery safe on the return. Boom leads in with the lasso. Will be broken immediately by Insania's swap. Shad caught by the magic missile. Celery tethers across over towards the Spectre, but he gets pulled back. Quaifa takes out the Io. Boom, his BKB's worn off. The swap trying to separate Toby from Mickey. Mickey tries to go for the body shot, but Aramis charges across Mickey, hits onto Quaifa into the ultimate. Taiga surrounded by the illusions of Shad. Taiga trying to run. Quaifa and Bo3 will finish the kill onto Aramis. It's a 3 for 3.
Shad cleaning up,
backing onto Quaifa. Quaifa, very little mana left to play with. Uses his last reserves to get himself into the river.
The dagger, not quite going to be able to chase him forward there. They clean up Toby. They can't deal with Shad, though.
I mean, that is the problem. I mean, even in this fight where the results end up being even, I mean, if anything, Liquid out on top a little bit by the goal due to Celery making that investment at the buyback at the end of it all. But yeah, that definitely seems to worry. Shad in that fight, I don't think he ever got lower than half HP.
No.
This Spectre starting to really look like an issue for Liquid, despite Liquid as a team still being ahead
Radiant's
overall.
middle tower is
It's
under
just, there's
attack.
so many different ways for them to get on top of Mickey. This charge at the end there is beautiful, comes through pretty much everybody, hits 3 or 4 targets. The Doom, the Spectre Haunt, the Bat Rider, everything just gets popped, and Mickey's just in panic mode, right? You have to just kind of hold your ground, hope to the best you can get those right clicks, because they just have so many tools. Now an Eye of Scotty finished up too, so that slow is going to come into play. Shad is very scary, even though Liquid has an 8k gold lead. This Spectre is something out of control right now.
And it's sort of what you said as well, that seems to be the biggest thing that stands to be the difference. The fact that, sure, both Boom and Quaker, their individual games have slowed down a lot. You know, Quaker is slightly ahead, but still as this Storm, his item progression has really slowed down. I think he's nearly got the Bloodstone done over the Orchid. But that has just put so much pressure on Mickey as the Drow. Whereas on Viking side, sure, it's a lot of pressure on the Spectre. It doesn't matter. It's a Spectre.
It's a Spectre,
He's
exactly.
Spectre. I mean, is there any other way they could sort of itemize towards it? I mean, you're looking at anything else on the team that they can get to deal with this Spectre better, or to keep the Drow safe? As we get ourselves back into the action, and actually straight back into a fight.
What the heck?
That looks to have gone very well for Liquid.
Wait, 3 are dead.
All right.
I mean, did Liquid smoke?
I mean, that's going to be Roche as well for them.
Oh, and a regen rune. All right, well, I feel like we just missed maybe the potential, like, huge fight for Liquid.
They didn't get the Spectre, though, so this was a fight, without the Haunt.
But I guess,
But a very good fight nonetheless for Liquid, as this will give them the tools to maybe start poking towards the high ground and trying to do more whilst the Horn is down.
I'm assuming that they must have just smoked on the situation, like right when they had the chance, like smoke, look for the fight, because there was no Doom, there was no Haunt available, so they just found the heads up plays, got 3 of them there. I mean, that's a huge place to take it too, right in front of the Roche pit, and they get a regen rune, and can't quite get Boom, but yeah. Pretty huge, and I believe it was right after Bloodstone was picked up too. So
yes, I imagine he's got the Bloodstone charges up from that.
Yep.
Radiant structures.
All right, I mean, massive. And now Boxy has a full. This is the item that I was actually going to say that they need in order to protect the Drow is that Aghanims on Puck, because those BKBs that are out, he can actually prevent, and they can do fun plays always. You always have the potential for Puck and Venge, especially with Ags, that super long duration break when you swap out a coil. They can catch people off guard.
Yeah, they got multiple ways, right?
Toss
the
back.
toss, even the push from the gust, right? I mean, even the pull from the vortex.
I mean,
technically, sure, it's a little harder with those because the amount of movement done to the enemy isn't that great. But there is the chance. There's a lot of push and pulls from Liquid's lineup.
Yeah, Boxy's having a killer game. He had the Lincolns. He has the full Ags.
I'll take that.
Got the full Vessel. Yeah. Doing a very good job for his team right now with the Blink 2 on top, level 22.
Yeah, that last fight really put Quaker and Boxy back on the map in terms of farm. They're right back up there.
7-1 and 13 on Boxy. He's really displaying right now this off-lane Puck that we don't get to see too often.
There we go, smoke on smoke. Viking.
Still no Doom available for a second.
Can Boom find the jump? He's going to spot out Insania. He's going to try and look to start things on it, but Tiger's in with the counterplay. They'll still commit with the lasso. Look to drag down the Vengeful Spirit. Here goes the Horn. Can Shad find the target? He's looking over towards the backlines, trying to go towards this tiny, but quite from Boxy. They're already in. They're taking out Aramis. Mickey with the multi-shots turns. Focus is Shad. Shad being chased down by Quaker. Quaker now goes over towards the easier kill. On Boom will get it. The Doom is down onto Mickey. As they have managed to eliminate the Drow, there'll be a buyback from Boom. As Viking, they're trying to put more resources in this to win this fight, but the Spectre, Shad's in trouble. Quaker, lower mana, gets one more remnant out. Quaker will fall for it. That's the Aegis gone. Boom, he bought back for this one. He's trying to find Tiger, but it looks like it's going to be a dieback from Boom. He cannot turn this one around on his own as the bat out for a second time. Liquid's lead continuing to grow. Despite a few casualties themselves, still a very solid fight for Liquid as they hold their own.
Yeah, they get 3-man coiled. They get on top of the Drow, but at that point, they'd already lost so many of their tools. Mickey, great positioning, sitting in the back line, just firing his arrows onto 3 heroes. Yeah, continuing to take really good fights on Liquid. Even if they're, you know, their main carry kind of dies, that when they have the Aegis, and Boxy's just reaping all the rewards. Boxy's like, thank you. I'm up to almost level 25 now on Puck. Having a dream performance, really. Him and Taiga surviving throughout all of it, the entirety of that fight, as you see them all the way jumped up in those levels, 24 and 21.
Yeah, some insane levels actually coming out from Liquid Zeros.
Yeah, they could not get on top of that Drow fast enough, though, right? That 3-man coil controlled the majority of Viking.
Radiant's top tower.
So they couldn't get on top of Mickey.
What? Go on, well, you know this game, Fog.
Of course.
I have no idea what was happening.
That was Clockwork and Techies.
What was going on?
That was mid lane.
That was the mid lane.
That was the mid lane.
And
Techies and Clockwork. You see Rattletrap. That's my boy Rattletrap right there. Oh, God. Dota 1 looked so terrible. I forgot how you can't even see what anything is anymore.
I like that. Very nice. See, I would have commentated, but I mean, I never played the game, so
you can still tell what's going on.
I could not tell. There was like some
know?
pixels in the mid lane and some units.
The map feels a lot bigger. That's the one thing that you have to get really used to in Dota 1. Immediately when you look at it, the screen just looks massive.
Is that because the map was actually bigger or the models just smaller?
I think it was a bit of both. A bit of everything there. It always felt like the map was bigger for me when I played. I haven't played Dota 1 in 4 years, though. So I tried to play an Earth Spirit 4 years ago, and I couldn't even find my stones. I was so lost. It was so tough to play.
The buttons would all be very different. Oh, Tiger. He's going to catch himself. Doom outside of the base.
Toby, as well as Celery. And now, looks like they actually got an Axe Coil on the Spectre as well.
The swap to the side. They're buying back to try and save him, but Shad, I don't think they can. He's gone. Liquid looking to clean this one up. No chance for the Spectre to carry this one away. He's finishing the show with a bam. As triple kill for him. The 4 of them dead. The mass tips coming out on Toby there from Liquid.
He bought back and died just immediately. They probably know they can just maybe just end the game here. They have quite a long time without Spectre. 60 seconds. They have Drow Venge. Yeah,
that's a huge window to finish this one. Yeah, Liquid.
I think they can go tier 4s after this tower with their lineup.
Yeah, they really wisened up their playing draft after game 1. They came in with this fighting lineup.
Get into those tier 4s. Insania knows he's pinging.
It's time to end this one.
End this game. Solid plays there.
Even
though versing a very farm Spectre throughout the majority of it, Mickey has stayed on top. Boxy as well. Perfect performance by this Puck, always being in the right place, right time. And yeah, they should be able to end this one right now.
Tier 4's down onto the Ancient. They've got the 2 of them alive, but Celery gets popped straight away by the combo. The Ancient will fall. GG is caught, and Liquid will strike back here in game 2, bringing it to a 1-1. And